Salut!
Hey!
All right.
Welcome back to the Good, the Bad, and the Just Plain Standard podcast, where we provide you with our informed opinions on movies we watched together. We are your hosts,
Adam.
Anouk.
and Yann. Today is all about Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Starring.
Daisy Ridley, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, John Boyega, Adam Driver, Oscar Isaac, Kelly Marie Tran, Benicio del Toro, Gwendolyn Christie, Laura Dern, Domhnall Gleeson, and Andy Serkis.
And this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Just Plain Standard is starring the video feed.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are doing some experiments. Ooh.
Hello, Internet.
Hello. Jingle. A long, long time ago,
Of course, Yann has a jingle.
in a galaxy far, far away, a world divided by fear, an animal must stand alone. This winter, you will understand why Disney is buying all the other studios. Porg Wars, the last merchandise, rated PG-13.
Porgs, man. I mean, that was one of the things that the Internet hated, isn't it? We're in a very weird situation with Star Wars. Everyone will know that this is not December. We are recording this in January. Main reason for this is because we decided to take an early Christmas. Everyone went back to their respected homes and had a jolly good time. While the rest of the internet was having a meltdown on either loving or hating Star Wars. So we're in the very nice position that we can talk about that in our discussion about The Last Jedi today. Because
Yes.
ultimately, we're a lover of cinema. I would say I'm a lover of cinema moreover than I am a lover of Star Wars. So I think that gives us a nice perspective on this one.
I'll agree with that.
I'm excited.
Well, at the time that it was released, the Disney Fox deal was still under discussions, and now it's done. The movie and TV series rights from 20th Century Fox are to Disney's.
So my dreams of an alien streaming franchise TV series are still alive at this point.
Yeah, and
I mean,
then
Disney want to do their own streaming. Ooh, ting ting.
and the nightmares of everyone being the Marvel being removed from Netflix into their own Disney.
Oh,
stream.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
They have Firefly now, as someone smart pointed out, and I hope they don't bring it back
Yeah.
because it was. I mean, if they bring the characters back as 50-year-olds, but it wouldn't be. I don't think it makes sense to bring them back.
I mean, people will want it, whether that's a good thing or not. I mean, that's very important for this episode as well. Because this has the discussion of fans for this one. I definitely feel like we're going to get into the fan base. For good reasons. And for my own stories, actually, I had a good I had a conversation over New Year about this film. Before we had reviewed it, I was very happy that we hadn't reviewed it yet, because I've got an interesting angle to throw this one at.
Awesome. I think it's a good episode to go in a bit deeper into trailers, because this one had a trailer that even Rian Johnson, the director, said, well, don't watch. That's the one of the latest trailers that was released. Don't watch this one because it will spoil something for you.
Oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that the one that was on every single time you went to the Cineworld, I reckon?
That was the latest one. The one when Kylo Ren is extending his hand and you get a few.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I can see where that's coming from.
Yeah, it did kind of spoil I didn't feel like it spoilt it, but you definitely knew that was coming. There was a connection.
Shall we talk about trailers?
Yeah, I watched a video. Well, it's on a French guy, so called kind of the Grim Reaper of movies, like Le Fossoyeur de film. Very, very popular in France. And he made a video explaining it basically was the problem with current trailers. And it said that, well, it was full of spoilers, but it's not necessarily a new thing, because in Castaway, for instance, if the guy is clearly on the island, but you also see him afterwards.
Oh, with the whole you see the last essential scene of the film in the trailer.
Well, you
Him
see,
standing at the crossroads for Castaway.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, so that was full of spoilers. Number 2, they are selling us a different movie, just like we have like Suburbicon and kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We get kind of a link to that. We get false promises, which is a bit annoying. And they are, most of them, not designed as a narrative, so they are either just plain standard or boring. It's just eye candy.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you've seen it all before.
And that's watching this that I created Jerry. No, there is a guy called Al Douglas, who's he was doing all of the trailer voices for many years, and there is a trailer for a movie or a documentary, I think it is called Comedian, and it's about trailer voices, guys. And
Nice.
the trailer is just great. It's like there is someone trying to. There's a producer or someone behind the consoles, and he's just like, in a time. No, this is not that kind of. In a world. No, this is still not that good. What time of. What do you want? It happens in a city. In a city. No, this is not what are you. In a bus station. No, still not.
Something's wrong.
It's so
In the
funny.
back of a Wendy's car park.
Yeah. Rated R.
Perfect.
Also,
In a
very,
retail park just located off the M25.
also very funny. The guy doing all the honest trailers voices,
Oh, yeah.
following people in the streets, like
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
the voices.
The man in the blue shirt is sweating a lot.
Yeah,
That's good.
It's disturbing.
Yeah, well, he gave examples of good ones. So the girl with the dragon tattoo, good music, and without revealing too much, which was nice. This one is amazing. Red Eye, a Wes Craven. It looks like it begins like a romantic comedy. It's with Cillian Murphy and Rachel McAdams, I think. Well, Cillian Murphy for sure. And
Adams, you're right.
yeah,
Cool.
and it looks like the comedy version of the Shining trailer.
Yeah.
And then it's just the very last second of the trailer is oh wow, that's not, you got me there. Femme Fatale. I think it's a course. Femme Fatale. It's basically the whole movie. Speeded, like full speed, like very very fast, like in 2 minutes. So in the end, you didn't understand anything. Well, just go see the movie then.
Oh, dear.
That's cheeky.
I mean, you're right. Movie trailers are designed to get people excited. And with the likes of Star Wars, Marvel, whatever, they have like... The weirdest one I saw recently is the day before the Infinity War trailer came out. There was a trailer teasing that the trailer was coming out.
Yeah. It's
wait a minute.
Yeah,
What?
how they call that? It's wait.
The trailer tease.
They have
Teaser
name.
Trailer.
Not just the teaser trailer, because the teaser trailer for it, for example.
It's
was just,
it's a bumper trailer. So you've got Jack. He said like let me see. So yeah, you got the teaser 1, teaser 2, teaser trailer social media short, followed by official trailer and trailer 2, trailer 3, 10 first minutes, bumper trailer. So that's just 5 minutes where you get 14 image, like subliminal images, like in 5 seconds. Okay, just eat all the.
Take all the bait.
It's
Yeah, there's probably a massive science in movie trailers.
Oh,
Gotta
yeah.
be.
Yeah.
and now they're having the footage speak more, because before you had a voiceover and pretty much a voiceover. Now there's either a starting voiceover and the narrative thing made out of individual scenes, or just a montage with music.
Trailers, man. I mean, they're on for 30 minutes on every movie, so they better, make a point, because that's the hardest thing to sell to an audience. because I went to see this. I've seen this film twice now. I saw it around about opening day, not because I was like, I have to see Star Wars. This was the weekend that Anouk went to London, and me and Yann recorded the Bonnie episode for Star Trek. The day before we recorded that episode, I was like, I don't have anything to do because Anouk's away. So I went to go and see it. And like the half an hour wait before, especially when it's a big movie like that, I don't know how the hell you sell any movie to anyone else because they're not interested. They're like, just give me the movie. So there has to be a science behind it.
Well, it's most of the. I reckon that the guy who directed Terminator Genesis, the fact that the John Connor is right in the trailer. So he's supposed to be the good guy, John Connor, right? The kid?
Yeah.
That's John Connor, yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see in the trailer that he's turned in some way. So that's kind of a big plot spoiler right in the trailer there, yeah.
Oh dear.
But it's supposed to be a creative kind of stuff that gets you in, but it's just now with the attention span being just like 5 seconds. Those bumper trailers are just great for that.
I mean, everyone in the world has seen this film already, so does it need a plot summary? Should I tell you what, I think a plot summary is useful because we're going to talk about things that the internet didn't like and the things that we didn't like, etc., etc. So a plot summary works. So this film immediately takes place after the events of Episode 7. So if you haven't seen Episode 7, or if you hadn't seen that like a couple of weeks before, you're a bit out of skew. Like, oh, what's going on again? What? Oh, okay. So they're trying to escape the First Order after the First Order blew up the entire Republic, essentially. Or at least the Republic's the headquarters on is it Coruscant? I think it's Coruscant. Was in the prequel. I'm probably butchering this. I'm sorry to any Star Wars fan if I get the planets wrong because I'm not well versed in the lore of Star Wars, totally. So wherever the Republic is centered. Anyway, so that blows up and the rebels are being chased. This is a common theme for the rest of the movie. I'll just keep saying the rebels are being chased because they are being chased the entire film. So the rebels are being chased. Meanwhile, Rey is essentially being trained by Luke Skywalker for a good 60-odd minutes of the film. So while that's going on, the rebels decide, we need to figure out a way how we're not being tracked by the First Order. So they send John Boyega's Finn and newcomer to the franchise, Rose, everyone loves for the multicultural diversity of the Star Wars canon at last. They get sent off on the B-plot of this movie to go and find me and Anouk laughed at this. A master code cracker. Code breaker.
Yeah.
On the casino planet of something Canton, something like that. Max, I don't know. I won't try and butcher it. They find the master code breaker and take him back to try and break onto the First Order ship to break down the tracking device that's tracking them. And then there's a bunch of other stuff that happens. I mean, the film is like 2.5 hours long. I think the major points we'll cover in discussions, but it's another Star Wars movie. Everyone knows the plot, really. And we'll diverge more about the plot as we go along.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think there were clear. I mean, we noticed a definite shift. Well, because we've seen Thor 1 and Thor 3. We definitely noticed a shift into the Disney humor, which made it to this. Like everyone is mocking General Hux when he's trying to, at the start, he's trying to do something, and just like
over the telecom thing. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Basically over the
radio.
phone. Yeah, the radio. He keeps saying, "Sorry, I can't hear you," and he's like kind of grandstanding, and because he's doing that, he has to repeat his grandstand, and that's always embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean,
I've rewatched this 7 just after, and yeah, when Poe meets Kylo Ren for the first time, it's like Well, I can't hear you. What are you going to remove this, or is because they just can't? It's kind of dynamic. It was some humor was there, but it felt for some reason it felt like post Thor 3 kind of stuff. I don't know.
I think because some of the later parts of the film they go for. I mean, it goes for dark. I don't think it gets there personally. I don't think it gets to a too dark a place.
They didn't take the risks they could have.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that.
They didn't take any risks, I don't think.
Well, and this is Anouk's first point probably, that the fight at the beginning with the star fights is kind of boring.
Yeah, I was kind of worried because I was thinking, is this what the film is going to be like the whole way through? Because it was slow, it was boring. I didn't really care about the characters, even though you knew them.
Now, you knew one, I think. We knew Poe and BB-8, but this was the thing. We knew. I knew straight away. I'm like, well, these have got main character armor on. There's no way these are getting offed in the first 5 minutes of this movie. There's no way. I mean, this isn't Game of Thrones.
And I mean, what they did quite well though is that they killed off quite a few people, and you felt that even though they weren't big characters, like you kind of, like you felt every death. So you kind of were with the rebels almost.
Yeah.
Like it was quite cleverly done, but I feel like the beginning was slow.
I feel like it was misplaced, personally. I feel if that they'd taken that out first, right? So they get off their base from the last film and jump to hyperspeed. No, is it it's not hyper. Is it warp? Is it hyper?
Warp is Star Trek. This is
Light
speed.
Yeah.
Light speed.
Yeah, it's light speed. Sorry, God, I'm gonna get killed on the internet for that. They jump to light speed, then they come through, and then the opening begins. The scene from the opening starts. I feel if that is placed there, it has a bit more grasp of it. But because it's the first thing we're seeing, I mean, this is a bit full on.
Yeah, it is full on
for the beginning. It's almost like they cut it from the end of the last movie. I mean, they did this sort of thing in The Desolation of Smaug, the last Hobbit movie, where it starts with Smaug destroying Lake Town, and I'm like, this should have been the end of the second one.
Well, the thing is that we've been told and we've noticed multiple times 2 years ago when we trained that it's always better to start, for instance, improv or scenes in the middle and skip all the shaky and then not so more to the point stuff. So, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think their point was just drop us straight into the middle again.
Get you back into Star Wars sort of thing.
Yeah.
Get you excited.
Especially because they know that people are such big fans. They'll probably watch the one before, like the night before they see the film.
True.
You know, like they have it fully in their heads. I mean, Harry Potter did exactly the same thing with
part 1s and 2.
Oh, yeah. They kind of drop you. And that's why over Christmas they had part 2. And it was really odd watching it because it was like just being put into a middle of a film. And it was like, this starts nowhere. Like I have no idea what's going on. It's weird. I
mean, the last thing, if I remember rightly, and before like the fade in, you know how Star Wars always does that, you know, the circle coming into the screen. They always do that. Was Rey and the lightsaber was the very end of episode 7. So they could have just started immediately there again, which would have been totally fine. But they start with this. But again, doesn't like nearly every Star Wars movie start in space?
Well, there's the except Rogue One actually. There is the so you've got the Star Wars, then the moving explanation stuff in yellow.
Yeah.
And then
the title crawl.
Yeah, and then it's stars, and then the camera tilts down.
Yeah,
to whatever happens.
Yeah, it's mostly in space, that sort of thing, which is very cool. It's very Star Wars. And it's parodied very well in Spaceballs. Like a lot of things are. I mean, space battles are a bit like, they're fun to watch, but I bet they're more fun to play on the game, you know? We won't mention Battlefront 2 because it's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah, I think there were some scenes that didn't really need to be in. I just felt like it was very boring in some points, like in the middle, I think. But actually, you know, the feeling that I got when I first left the movie theatre, I don't know why I'm saying movie theatre, cinema, I'm not American, was I did enjoy it. I did enjoy the film. So, but while I was watching it, there were moments where I was like, oh God, this is dragging on a little bit.
Well, there are clearly moments that don't make sense. Like, at the end, I don't know if we're being spoilery, but...
It's been more than 2 weeks. Go for it.
Yeah. At the end, so there's been a connection with Rey and Kylo for this whole time, which was actually visually interesting and well made, I thought. So when they finally get together with Snoke, and so at one point he's just killing Snoke because he's about to make sure that all rebels are dead, and the minute afterwards he's just, no, let's just fuck them anyway, just join me in the bed. So, I mean, in terms of character move, it doesn't make sense, I feel.
It does come out of nowhere.
I feel like that's keeping the audience guessing move, because this is the big thing with Star Wars, right? Everyone thinks they know the plot. I mean, you could pretty much guess if you've seen the first trilogy. You're like, well, they're just going to do the same thing again because, you know, it's lightning in a bottle. A lot of people don't try and do anything more different. I mean, the biggest annoyance with Force Awakens was everyone's like, it's just episode 4. So I think that played as well, that they wanted to keep people guessing a lot with the plot.
Okay.
Yeah, I see that.
A major thing the internet's annoyed at is the fact that a lot of stuff from J.J. Abrams isn't paid off. But he's an executive producer on this. So surely, if it was ultra important to the through line of this, it would have been like, you can't do that. Surely.
I guess so. I mean, producers have quite a lot of say, don't they? Because they have all the money.
Well, I mean, apparently, before the film was unleashed to the world, the producer, and mostly Kathleen Kennedy, I think it says like George Lucas' former wife or something, or wait, the big head at Lucasfilms who stayed in Lucasfilms, she entrusted Rian Johnson, who just did this movie, to a new trilogy, which will start being shot in Scotland next year.
Oh, better get on that.
Get the extra work. There was a couple of Scottish people in this movie. The female who answers the call for Hux at the very beginning, you will be seeing a lot of in Scottish Month. She's in Filth. She's a very prominent Scottish actress. I cannot remember the name off the top of my head, but I will have it for the Filth episode.
Yeah.
I mentioned in the intro, somebody had a very interesting conversation. When I was at a New Year's party, I was like super ill, actually. Somebody had a very interesting conversation about, there are some people that think Episode 2 Attack of the Clones might be better than this film. I was like, wait a minute, no, surely not. Surely not. For one major reason alone, that I believe that the main point, I'm currently stumbling a lot because the camera is flashing. I wonder if this camera that I record on only goes to 25 minutes apiece, which might be quite interesting. So if we give it 10 seconds, that might stop.
Well, I don't know, because only the iPhones will get the full thing. This gets a new file every 8 minutes 53. So I have many files to deal with.
That's probably what that was.
Well, just 1 second. Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy is the head of Lucasfilm, but George Lucas was not her husband at all. It's just delirium. Yeah. But I thought, but no, don't care anyway. But yeah, she's the CEO at Lucasfilm.
I'll go back and do this bit again so I know it's not stopping. So somebody had a very interesting conversation at New Year's saying that Attack of the Clones Episode 2 might be better than this film.
No.
No.
No
Come on.
way.
Even, especially, right, as a film point, right? All credit here is to Red Letter Media because they've highlighted everything about the prequels. And I spotted from their things they talk about, which is very true, as a filmmaking podcast, we should talk about this, is that the majority of the prequels are reverse over-the-shoulder close-up. Any conversation is over-the-shoulder close-up. That's it. Every conversation is shot like that. So it's boring to watch.
Yeah.
This film actually feels like there's a camera in the room wherever they are. So even if you think the story was a bit wishy-washy, we'll get into the Luke Skywalker portrayal, even if you didn't like that, you can't say that Episode 2 is a better made film because, let's just face it, it's not made with the love that this film is made with. There is genuine passion involved in this film.
Yeah. And I think there's something for everyone in this film, which I quite liked. Like, there's something for the Star Wars fans. There's something for people that haven't seen it. Like, the relationship between Kylo Ren and Rey, I thought was really nice, as Jan was saying. The sound around that as well, I thought was really interesting. Like, the muffled kind of... It was like warped in and warped out.
The music and sound design of Star Wars has always been the selling point to me.
Yeah, and
I've
lighting.
I've always enjoyed the music more than I enjoy the actual quality of the films. Like it's excellent.
Yeah.
But that's because I'm a music nerd.
And of course you had like the love interest between John Boyega and Rose, even though I always thought the John Boyega and Daisy Ridley would get together.
I think that goes back to my point about changing expectations for fans.
Right.
I think that's a definite thing to do with toying with your expectations of where things are going.
Yeah, we kind of wanted to... and I thought when Rose collapsed that she had died. And so I was like, oh, is that Star Wars' way of getting rid of her so that Daisy Ridley can... No, but in a storyboarding sense.
Yeah, well, the sexual tension was not between those two.
No.
I don't know, but if you see if you don't see it with 12-year-old eyes, it's fine. But if you see it with the older eyes, Rey and Kylo, there was something going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there definitely was. Especially when he's like, I don't know, in his, like wearing like half of his clothes, and she's like, please put something on.
It's funny.
And he's just there like he's kind of sweating and like there's just kind of black matte bathroom tiles around him. Like he's got
he's got the widest chest of anyone in cinema history.
Yeah, he's quite set.
I mean, I'm quite wide shoulder. I reckon if it was me, I'm pretty. Not obviously a muscular like look. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying in perspective to how wide the bloke Adam Driver's shoulders are. I think I've got pretty wide shoulders.
Yeah, he seems to be quite.
Which is quite nice to see because you usually just see like sticks with just six packs. You know, like
his he did a TED talk.
Yeah, he used to be
from my journey from Marine to actor.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah,
is that Adam Driver?
Yeah. I haven't seen it in a while, but it was interesting. Yeah,
that's why he's so built
and disciplined.
You
watch him in interviews, you're like, yeah, this guy's definitely been in the army, in the Marines.
Is he very?
Oh yeah, like he's well versed.
Strategic.
It's like how Tom Cruise is very good at doing interviews, but that's because Scientology is all about convincing people.
Yeah, it's like militaristic, isn't it?
Yeah,
slightly?
The same way. Oh, well, not in the same way.
No, I'm sure Tom Cruise would break in the Marines.
I was going to make a joke about how, for once in a romantic series, it's not the female with daddy issues. It's Kylo, because obviously he killed his dad in the last episode.
He's got massive daddy issues. It's so true.
I suppose Rey does because she doesn't have a dad.
Yeah. Yeah, she has abandonment issues because she's looking for her parents. I am okay.
Are you? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
She has daddy. Yeah. He has daddy.
He has daddy issues. He's big daddy issues. I mean, he looks a bit like Daddy in the beginning. Oh no, sorry, that's Darth Vader. Never mind.
I got rid of his daddy.
He does look like a daddy, though.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, I'm sure I wouldn't complain if Kylo Ren was like your sugar daddy sort of thing.
Mine.
Anybody's.
Oh, right. I was just like, okay.
He's a good-looking man.
He's a very good, and his voice is amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
But also, I kind of get the whole Marine thing because he has that look of like, I've seen a lot of shit. Don't fuck with me.
Do you mean Adam Driver or do you mean Kylo Ren? Because they
Both.
yeah.
They have this kind of intensity that like, because there's who plays the Flash?
Oh, Miles Teller.
No,
In the series?
The series or the TV or the movie we just saw.
the movie.
No, it's Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller.
Miller.
Sorry.
I used to get confused with Adam Driver and Ezra Miller because they kind of have this. They do the same roles. They're very like moody teenage. This was before Ezra Miller was big. Like he did very messed up teenagers. So I always used to
we
get
need
those.
to talk about Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was another one where he was the drugged up teenager, but I always thought that Ezra Miller was, I don't want to say better actor, but just someone that I felt was more relatable on screen. But actually, Adam Driver was very good.
Well, the first thing I ever saw Adam Driver in is HBO's Girls, and he's very, very good in that.
Oh, girl.
Yeah, he's
different.
He's very good in that. I feel very human, very Mamet, that show, which makes sense as David Mamet's daughter's in it. Has this whole realism feel to it. Good show. Very good show.
Is that the one that's in Mad Men as well?
Yes, it is actually. You're right.
January Jones?
No,
No.
actually, David Mamet's daughter makes it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Zoe.
Zoe Mamet, yeah.
Zoe
she's
Mamet.
in Mad Men for a bit as well.
Okay.
She's his wife for a bit.
No, she's not.
No?
That's not Zoe.
Zozia.
She was the
Wait.
She worked upstairs at Time Life. She was friends with Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
The one who gets leukemia?
No, well, we'll leave it. You know, I don't know how to. She wasn't a major character.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Zozia.
Zosha?
Zosha, I think it is.
Probably.
Oh, I always thought that it was his second wife.
In Mad Men?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. I miss.
No, that's a different actress.
Hmm.
Anyway, Star Wars.
Yes.
We're talking about Adam Driver. We got distracted by Adam Driver's chest, which a lot of the audience do get distracted by Adam Driver's chest.
Yeah, I was.
Good, great cheese on that board.
But there was a lot of sexual tension. I agree.
Yeah.
Between them. I
Hope
mean,
that
Ray
gets paid
is
off in
just
episode 9.
Ray's just a bit of a flirt, isn't she? She's just flirting with all the boys.
Well, it gets paid off. Yeah, she is.
She's flirting with all the boys.
You hope it gets paid off. Well, it gets paid off. Well, Ray's parents, that they were building something huge in the first one, and well, it kind of blew up there.
Is that true though? Do you reckon he just told her that to like try and side her? I would buy if Disney retconned that, because it's delivered in such a way that how does Adam Driver's Kylo Ren know that they were just trash? You know?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I think at that point, because he was so desperate as well, he would just make up any shit to kind of get Ray on his side.
I mean, that's the only retconnable decision. The other retconnable decision that people would love is the whole Luke Skywalker thing. I feel, but that's definitely not going to get retconned.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Let's jump into
it. Which one? Because you had the hologram thing and you had the death thing and the turning bad thing.
I just mean the whole thing people are mad about. You know, Mark Hamill.
I haven't followed the.
Well, the major complaint is the fact that people grew up with episodes 4, 5, and 6, and how Luke is portrayed in those episodes.
Yeah, Skywalker is the kind of hero.
He's like the other lovable rogue. He has a very strong arc. He grows from a naive child to this Jedi master, for lack of any other reference point. And then the last thing we see of Luke is on screen before this is him at the party with the Ewoks, looking at the ghosts, the visions of his other masters, and he's so young and he's got a whole life ahead of him, and then the next time we see him is like bang, he's an old man. I think people are just mad because they didn't get to see what they remember.
Well, it will come back for sure because,
they always come back. I mean,
yeah,
Yoda was
ghosts.
in this. Fucking
Yeah.
Frank Oz was in this film.
Yeah.
Yes.
Paycheck I am collecting.
Which was nice. I thought that it wasn't too kind of cliche or, pumped up on steroids.
That's a good phrase.
You
I didn't think this movie was pumped up on steroids.
Hollywood eyes.
Hollywood eyes, pumped up on steroids. Anouk's making the t-shirts. Nobody's buying them.
No, merch.
All about that merch.
I'm all about that merch. Buy my merch.
I've got a merch gun.
We're not. Oh, God. Satire. Spike the Langs. We don't have any merch.
No. No. The library bards, they have All About That Space parody, which is very nice. Yeah.
Hence the t-shirt you're wearing.
All about that space. About that space. No troubles.
If you liked our Bonnie episode, go and check out Library Bards. I did after that episode, and they're very good. I enjoyed a lot of their stuff.
Very good. I haven't heard much, but
I'll play some after for you.
they're very cool. Yeah, no, I really enjoy. I really like. The thing is, I'm not a massive Star Wars fan. Like, I was kind of brought up on them, but I'm not a massive
You weren't needing to
science
see it.
fiction person.
I'm not either, and especially because my father has a
Is Darth
Star
Vader.
Wars phobia.
Eh?
Yeah, everything that is a bit fantasy, sci-fi, except time travel stuff for him is just like, no, it's just some Darth Vader crap. I'm not into that. So that's the kind of the thing in our family. Like everything that is a bit sci-fi, especially fantasy, anything that if it involves time travel for some reason it works. But if for some reason it works. I'll start the story again because I'm not sure. For some reason in our family it's kind of a thing with my father. Everything that is a bit too fantasy or sci-fi, but not time travel, because for some reason he loves time travel. He's just some like, no, this is just Darth Vader will appear, and it's just not. I'm not. So I don't know if it really affected me, but I was not brought up on it either. It was the first one was 1977. I was born 2 years after that. I liked, because of the acting stuff, I liked the prequels because there was Natalie Portman in there.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only reason, pretty much. And I've noticed her in Leon, the Professional, when she was 12. I was 14, so it was fine. It was like, oh, she will go far. She will go far, and she's doing she's doing nice.
She's doing all right.
Yeah, she's doing all right. Yeah.
No, yeah, I have a thing for Natalie Portman too. I always, whenever I look at her, I'm like, why? Because she seems so, not boring. It's a horrible word, but just very English Rose, very
Plain
kind
Jane.
of plain. Yeah.
Plain Jane is the terrible.
But there's just something about her. There is something about her. I don't know what it is.
I'll be honest too. I mean, I wasn't massive into Star Wars. I mean, every kid had a bloody lightsaber. I had an Episode 2 lightsaber, funnily enough. I had Anakin's from Episode 2. Not a good film in hindsight. Not a good film. None of the prequels are good.
I like Darth Maul for some reason.
I like the actor, and I like that actor in Shaun of the Dead.
Loads of people liked, Darth Maul. Yeah.
Do you know that the actor that plays Darth Maul is the other flatmate in Shaun of the Dead? Greg.
Yeah.
That's the
One
same
that's
actor.
angry.
Greg.
You know the guy that
In where?
in Shaun of the Dead?
Oh,
It's the same actor.
The kind of tall guy.
okay.
That's Darth Maul.
Yeah. He's
Oh,
like
wow.
a
Okay.
big
Oh.
martial artist.
So like any time they weren't filming, they're like, go and tell us a bit more about Star Wars because we're massive into it. It's like, okay.
Okay.
I was
Wow.
Darth Maul.
Yeah.
I had like 3 lines.
There's I think Doug Jones who does. He did with The Shape of Water and Abe in the Hellboy. He's doing loads of monsters, and he's in Star Trek Discovery also. Doug Jones, quite a massive guy. Like you don't see that much. Just like Alan Tudyk, you see those names they get everywhere, but you don't necessarily know.
Recognize where you're from,
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't. We're indifferent to basically the changes essentially. So we're not mad at anything. So none of us had a feeling of like I hate this film.
Yeah, it didn't ruin our childhoods.
No,
I mean,
definitely
it
no.
would take a lot to ruin our childhoods. I don't think Ghostbusters ruined our childhoods. So,
I don't know. I'm trying to think. That's a good question. What film, if they redid or did something with, would really affect you? I mean, I reckon if they made a Nosferatu series that was terrible, that would probably mess you up a wee bit, Anouk.
Well, they're doing that, aren't they?
Oh yeah, there's a remake of Nosferatu. We discussed this in the Nosferatu episode.
Yeah, it's coming
Sometime. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see that.
So hopefully that's not
what
terrible.
am I thinking would be terrible? Well, I mean, I already have to live through the fact that Alien got ruined after like Alien 3. I have to live with that already. But I didn't grow up with that. I wasn't anticipating that, so that doesn't really bother me.
We'll very soon be talking about Highlander, and this one is very tricky. Because they had the first one, and for some reason they did some other ones, and there was a series, and there's some weird stuff and good stuff happening.
There can be only one.
Yeah, just like we'll need to talk about Stargate at some point also, because there's this although there was just one movie, but there was a series and some massive following. So, yeah. Well, actually, thinking about this, I think I was taken too much into some other franchises at the time. I was massively into Highlander, the series, and Stargate, SG-1. So I was already focused on that kind of stuff. So I wasn't really I was kind of a fan of those because of all the Egyptian lore from the original Stargate movie. I missed them because I was focused on some other stuff, really.
I have games that have let me down. A lot, actually, when I think about it.
I can imagine.
The most recent one, I think, is Outlast 2.
I mean, that even made me upset because I was so into Outlast 1.
I mean, Outlast 1 is great. And Outlast 2 is just the same thing for about 6 hours. Essentially, it's the same... I'll talk about that another day. That let me down. I have had other games that I've been super hyped for and have been let down, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Well, you finally started to play Origins, Assassin's Creed Origins.
I really enjoyed that game, yeah.
Awesome.
We'll do that. We'll have an Assassin's Creed episode because the stories... I found out from Origins that they've made the movie canon.
Okay.
So the Michael Fassbender that whole thing is canon to the Assassin's Creed's new reboot, modern side of it. So we'll have an Assassin's Creed month or whatever at some point.
Yeah, I didn't manage to go past half an hour of the movie, so I need to probably to watch it because there was no subtitles at the first. It was all Spanish, I think, or whatever. So it was a bit hard.
Cool.
But yeah.
Back to Star Wars. Right, I know you mentioned at the beginning that this movie's too long. Let's talk about what is easily cut out. Is easily the most cuttable part of the film, which is the
porgs.
Not necessarily.
In terms of marketing, it would have been a bad move.
But thinking about screen time, they only make up like 2 minutes of the film. I'm talking about the casino stuff.
Yeah, they spend way too long in that place.
Yeah.
I get... The thing is, though, every character in this film is developed, which my major gripe with the film is there's too many protagonists. In my head, we have Poe from the very beginning, we have Rey, we have Finn. Those are our 3 protagonists, right? On top of that, you've already got invested interest on Luke,
Carrie Fisher.
And then developing new characters like Rose and Admiral Dunn, isn't it? Duran, sorry, Admiral Duran. So there's the film has a lot to juggle.
And of course, Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren's the protagonist, yeah.
And Snork.
Admiral
Snoke.
Snork.
The Admiral talking Laura Dern, right?
Laura Dern.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was, yeah. No, but that's the name of the actress. No, I was just not putting her aware. Yeah, fine. Yeah.
I thought she was fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, she's good. She's a good actress.
When she first came on, I was really worried because usually when you have someone that's like half-baked, they're not that great an actor because they don't have to come on for that much of a screen time. So you know when someone threw... Yeah, okay, you understand.
Yeah.
So I was kind of worried that she'd ruin these scenes, but actually she made them.
Well, she makes the only big sacrifice in the entire movie.
Oh, yeah.
To, like, blow herself up and take out so many Imperial ships.
Yeah.
Like...
She saves pretty much everyone.
She's the only one that makes a major choice.
Yeah.
Really, when you think about it. I mean, we've got Kylo Ren and Rey deciding what sides they're going to be on. That's a big decision.
Yeah, I've been calling him Kylo, but yeah, maybe it's Ren. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
it's Ben. He's Ben Solo.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've got those. That's a big decision. I mean, him deciding to kill Snoke. That's another big decision. So there are big ones, but with the most weight, because this is the thing. Obviously, with the tragedy of Carrie Fisher passing away, they could have easily passed that on to Laura Dunn's character because she was interesting enough and made her the new Carrie Fisher sort of role, but they didn't, which is sad, but it's nice that Rian Johnson, because this is interesting as well, he's the sole writer on this thing, made the decision and kept it, which was nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the reason why they kept in certain worlds is just to like make it more, like make it a world and not make it leave it half baked, as I've said 5 times.
Well, this is the thing, especially because this is the much Star Wars. It used to be the case that you didn't get another Star Wars till the next movie. I know they'll have the Han Solo movie out probably this year or whatever. Like there'll be one before the episode 9 is out. Yeah. They have to put in so much to get it's money for your buck because you got 2.5 hours Star Wars. This is what you're getting for the year, you know?
No, they were saying for Ewan McGregor's Golden Globe speech, they hope that he's growing his beard for the Han Solo film.
Oh, yeah.
And his daughter's called Anouk.
Is she really?
Yes.
Wow.
How cool is that? So cool.
That is very cool.
Thank you.
Anouk, is that from the Claude Lelouch film A Man and a Woman? Or some other...
Yes.
Ah, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was named after her. And also it kind of bridged the two nationalities because there's like German, Bavarian, Swedish thing. And also in Sanskrit it means lion cub. So it was kind of a nice bridge. Also my mum loves ook. Like that sound.
Ending?
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Okay, cool.
There's one other thing that I really want to talk about before I'm kind of done. Is the... No, I'm done.
I'm kind of done.
I'm like,
with
I'm spotting the camera battery on my... the battery on my camera. I'm like, okay, we're at half. That's fine. Just make sure we get the points in before it dies. I really like John Boyega, right? I like him as a person. I like him as an actor. I love him in Attack on the Block. I haven't seen Detroit, but I want to because of him.
Oh.
I was totally down for him sacrificing himself. Like, even though I'm like, I want to see more of him, I'm like, that would have been a meaningful decision. I'm like, to take one of the big protagonists out of this film, I kind of felt like it was coming. And I was happy with it. The first time I saw it, I'm like, he's gonna do it. Like, it was sold to me. I'm like, okay, I'm down with this.
Me too.
He's making the heroic sacrifice. He's developing more character. But then to be saved by Rose.
Who doesn't die, which I thought was interesting that they would keep both of them.
I've got a suspicion that because it's such a touched subject right now. I mean, they just introduced the first like Asian. They've diversity into like Star Wars.
They couldn't kill her
They
off.
couldn't kill her off. I feel like that's a decision that majorly plays. Because I thought that was what it was going to be. Like, she sacrificed herself so that he could learn that something. Like, we're fighting for love as opposed to
what we hate.
Yeah. You know? I thought that would have worked. I thought that would have been great. But they don't kill her off either. I mean, they just do exactly the same thing as they did to him in the first one, which is, you know, he's injured and wake up in the next one. I don't know if I wanted John Boyega to die. I don't want him to die, but I thought that would have been a really good heroic sacrifice. That would have been one of the bigger, like... I mean, they already did that in Rogue One. Like, they killed the main characters. That's the big spoiler. Like, everyone dies in Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I kind of wish that they'd had the gun to go, no, let's do it. Let's make a hero of him.
It was quite. It would have been quite well rounded. I was sold too when I was watching it. I was watching it for the first time on your second time. So, I definitely thought that he would. I didn't see the save coming.
No,
basically.
I didn't either the first time.
Well, I didn't see any of the twists coming.
No, neither did I. Yeah.
Especially the final Luke one, which disappointed so many people because they wished they could have seen the Force stop all those massive stuff coming at him.
Oh, like a star killer. I don't know if you've played the Force Unleashed games.
Nope.
Like you play. That's a very good game actually. I played them over Christmas. They were really fun. There's a whole mission where you like bring down an Imperial ship from space with the Force, and you're like, yeah. I'm like, that would have been really cool just watching Luke just blast like 6 AT-ATs just like into space.
There was something quite nice though about the white and the red. That was definitely a nice colour.
Yeah, and it also allowed because there was this thing that when we saw Luke, he was not leaving any red trails, so you would notice before. So there was like kind of a very nice and subtle foreshadowing there.
Yeah.
That's
cool,
interesting.
Yeah. I did like that fight. I did like how that mirrored Ben Kenobi in Episode 4 when he fights Vader. He's like, if you watch that fight again, he just like decides I'm not fighting anymore, and Vader kills him. You know, to like strike me down, and I will become strong, more powerful than ever before. And then he's able to, you know, help Luke learn by coming back. I mean, we'll see more of Mark Hamill and Luke Skywalker for sure. Like that, he'll be back, but just not as a real person, as alive. I don't see how they. Do you know what I really loved, and I didn't notice this till the second time round, when it's him sitting on the rock before he disappears, and it's the double sunset. Mirroring his watching the sunset in Episode 4. I thought that was, and it had the right music, and the soundscape of that whole bit was like beautiful. I'm like, this is so well done, and then he vanishes into.
And the connection that Carrie Fisher and Leia and Rey feel him.
Yeah,
he's dying.
He's gone.
I thought was so lovely.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I like what they did with Luke, but then again, I'm not so like I don't have the same affinity as a lot of people had with, you know, Star Wars being their childhood.
But then I feel like with fans and with those kind of die-hard fans, you can never make them happy. They're always going to have something that they'll hate.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I'm kind of glad that they didn't kind of just do a film for the fans, because it would probably have been all over the place, which I feel like maybe the first one was Rogue One.
Do you mean Force Awakens?
The Force Awakens.
Force Awakens, yeah. It was just a little bit all over the place, and maybe it was because they were trying to please too many people.
Well, they had such a big task with that one. It's like reintroduce Star Wars to people and also win over a new wave of generation to this whole Star Wars phenomena.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy. These people are geniuses, but still, it's like, I liked what they did with it.
We know for a fact that you can't direct by committee and you can't make a film for committee. It has to be your vision. And
No, we
I
tried.
really feel for Rian Johnson because I reckon I would know. It's like, you know, you're going to alienate so many people by making your decisions, but at the end of the day, it would hurt you to know that you had the chance to make something that you wanted to make, and you didn't do it because you were scared. I admire him for making the choices he made. I really do. Whether at the end of the day you like his decisions or not, the man put his vision of Star Wars and his script onto paper and made the film, and it's there forever now.
Also, it was beautifully shot.
Oh yeah,
and
it's a marvelously made
lighted,
movie.
and the sound coordination and the choreography and nearly every little thing that goes into filmmaking was absolutely perfect. So I feel like, yes, if you're looking at it from a fan base point of view and you hated it, fine. But I don't think even those people can then turn around and say it's a shit film, because it's not.
No.
Yeah, it's just like for adapting books. You'll get the fans of the books shouting at you, getting mad because, like, when I read The Lord of the Rings as soon as I knew that Liv Tyler would be cast.
Mm-hmm.
So 1999, when they started production, and I pictured the towers and I pictured everything in my mind. So I already had something preconceived. So I was a bit disappointed, but still it was very well done, so it was fine. But for those who grew up with that, and yeah, they didn't like what he did with the characters. So I yeah, that's the thing you can understand. But yeah, in terms of what it is, how it was made, and clearly it's a work of love. And if you exclude the porgs, I don't know, but in terms of, but yeah, the whole thing is just, yeah, it's very nice.
I really didn't mind them. I thought they were a little bit like, why? But
yeah.
It was a little bit like, okay, if you want.
It'll be interesting to see if they come back. I mean, they weren't Jar Jar Binks, were they?
No, whoa, no. It's just indeed it was just like max 2 minutes of screen time, so it was okay.
Yeah, they were not around a lot.
Yeah,
I quite like the little like time with Chewie.
Yeah,
and there's a on the window.
It was very cute.
I'm kind of glad, right, that they didn't do the whole Chewie grieving plot.
Yeah, like he had the kind of mournful sound sometimes, but and I mean it was and we didn't have Rey grieving either.
No,
a little bit.
We had like when she first sees Kylo Ren, the whole like confrontation about you killed my father figure. We have that, but I kind of like that they just get on with it. The whole film's not layered with the fact that Han's dead. Like they get on and tell the story.
Yeah, especially because so many people have died.
It's a war. That's another good point. If it is a war, right? People die all the time. Like,
thanks for that one.
In real war, like, shut up.
Sorry. We'll have
Never mind.
January is also a female appreciation month.
Hey!
Whoop whoop. Whoop whoop.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Shall we go on to?
Shall we rate it?
Yeah, I have a few things afterwards.
So that brings us to the rating. Anouk, Yann, was Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, good, bad, or just plain standard? Anouk?
Good. It was very good.
Yann?
It was good.
And it was good. I enjoyed it too.
Yay!
Oh, we have a trio winners there.
Definitely, it's in the good. It's Baby Driver good, I think. And Baby Driver enjoyable. You know, different caliber of film. I mean, it's still a blockbuster, but then again, so is Baby Driver. You know, different styles, but it's in the same bracket.
I want to see it again, so I think that's a very good start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Yann, what did you want to bring to the table?
Oh,
in terms of, we should do maybe not a series, but something about a movie and the remakes because I've been watching. I think it was last month. Flatliners.
I've seen I've
With
heard
the
of it.
beautiful Nina Dobrev.
Yeah,
Oh,
That movie bombed. Apparently, it was not good.
it didn't do well, but
and the original one afterwards.
I mean,
actually.
wasn't well received either.
Yeah, it's set in the. Apparently, it's the follow up. It's not a actual
Yeah,
remake because Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, he's in it.
Sutherland, Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he was in the first one. Yeah,
Yeah.
And it's like they've brought this reference for who nobody cares about Flatliners from the 80s for a movie that nobody was going to go back and watch Flatliners.
Mm.
You know?
was it good?
No, it was
The
rubbish,
thing is,
apparently.
it was not excellent, but it had something they made, which made it very interesting because you always have to add drama, right? So the whole fact that you shock someone when there is a flatline is just crap. You because you need a tiny bit of electricity rolled. You need something. You cannot resuscitate a flatliner. It's not possible. And they make the difference between in the last one is just like any ER or it's just let's just shock it. It's flat. No. In this one, they try to get a tiny bit of something before they actually flash them.
Well, the whole point is that that's why you do CPR, because you have to get the oxygen in the system. Like, if there's a bit of oxygen, then you do it. There is something to, like, start you.
But if you're flatlining, it means that your heart has stopped,
Yeah,
right? So they have to do.
they have
If
to
your heart is actually stopped, they need to do something else rather than
defibrillate.
shock you.
Yeah,
Defibrillate.
yeah, to actually to do the CPR. Yeah,
Yeah.
but there was a distinct. They don't necessarily do it in all this ER and stuff.
No,
You should
no,
do- you see the flat line and then
Clear.
yeah, clear. That's the one. I
We're
was
losing
looking-
him, Doc. We're losing him.
Yeah, Grey's Anatomy is full of this.
I'm not losing another one.
He's coding, but code blue.
God damn it, I'm not losing this one. The sad music. Do, Jeff. No!
And just to pick up on the
No, god damn it, I'm not losing him.
just to pick up on the rap episode.
Oh.
I forgot to. Was it the rap? Yeah. 2017. It's a rap.
What up?
The killing of the sacred deer. We watched it, but we didn't get the occasion to talk about this one.
I never saw it.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
I didn't get a chance either.
Ah, okay. It was very like those movies where it's very slowly paced, but you're captivated all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
That was one like that. Yeah,
Sounds
and
good.
yeah, and a very nice twist at some point towards somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
We'll find it online or something.
Got anything else? Because my
Legally.
my camera's flashing.
Yeah, I was jet setting in France, and I used that to listen to the Paddington 2 episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
the 10 minutes we get, yeah.
Yeah, and funnily enough, because you talk about Harry Potter in there, and I've never listened to the Stephen Fry one. The
audiobook.
the one that I've listened to was Jim Dale,
Yes.
so it's quite different. I should probably try the Stephen Fry.
I've got
one,
I've got them on CD behind us in that shelf over there, so it's well worth listening to. Love it.
Also, just one last thing, and Captain Fantastic. I finally managed to see it.
Oh, with Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah, my uncle is a bit like that. Well, not that extreme, but his,
Living off grid.
his children never had TVs growing up, so yeah, kind of.
Wow. That's intense.
So this was the Star Wars The Last Jedi episode.
Hopefully you get to actually see the video feed of this at some point.
Yeah.
I'll probably edit this one, but
Yeah.
hopefully I got all my footage, but we need to work out something with my camera because it's a bit like, it's not going to last longer episodes, so we'll figure something out.
Yeah, or just some snippets or bits or whatever. But
Yeah, we have my phone.
I'll need to invest in a better phone. I'm planning to do that anyway. Birthday.
So we were
Adam.
Anouk.
and Yann. Au revoir.
Bye.